Welcome back to another video. My name is Matt and I help people overcome retroactive jealousy. And in this video, we're going to be talking about how we can become mega confident. How we can actually destroy retroactive jealousy by practicing more confidence in our life. Now, sometimes this idea of confidence rubs people the wrong way. When I say sometimes retroactive jealousy has to do with a lack of confidence, they say, no, I am confident. I am super confident. And so then I kind of throw a curveball question in on them, and then it makes them kind of step back and be like, oh, okay, maybe I'm confident in some areas of my life, but maybe not in other areas of my life. And it kind of gets the brain rolling on ways that they can improve. So I'll share with you all that, kind of my own journey with discovering my own confidence and how it helped me overcome retroactive jealousy, how it's helped other people overcome it that I've worked with as well. Before we get started though, if you could take a quick moment and smash the like button so we can get this video out to more people, I would really appreciate it. Thank you. All right. So like I was alluding to just then, some people will come to me and say, I don't need to work on my confidence. Like I'm super confident already. It's like, I'm not saying you're not, but I'm not saying that there can be things that can be still worked on. And I found this definition of the word confidence in the dictionary, and I think it was like super powerful. So I always kind of bring up this idea. And the definition that I've found for confidence is, it says, having complete certainty in oneself, unruffled and unfazed by outside events. Complete certainty in oneself, unruffled and unfazed by outside events. Okay, so anything going on outside of us doesn't faze us. In this definition of confidence, we have absolute certainty. We're feeling good no matter what. And so sometimes when someone will say, no, I'm super confident, I don't need to work on confidence, I give them that definition and I'd say, okay, what if you're in a restaurant with your partner and then all of a sudden the person from your partner's past comes into the restaurant? Whoever that person is, whether it's an ex, whether it's somebody that, had a one-night stand with your partner, did something with them, they come into the restaurant and they come up to your girlfriend, boyfriend and say, oh, hey, how are you? And give them a hug. It's been a long time. How do you feel about that? That's a tough one, right? So I would say 100% of the people I'm helping respond and be like, oh, I get mad. I'd get angry. I'd run into the bathroom. I'd probably start crying. I'd probably start doing this. I'd probably start doing that. So I come back to that idea of, but confidence is being unruffled and unfazed by outside events. And so it kind of gets them into the mindset of, okay, maybe there is stuff that I need to work on a little bit here. Because in this case of the definition, if you're unruffled and unfazed by outside events, the person that came in and greeted your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever it is, you'd greet them, you'd give them a handshake, you say, oh, hi, how are you? I'm Matt, I'm da-da-da-da-da-da, and strike up a conversation, right? Because that's the confidence that a confident person would ooze in that case. Unruffled or unfazed by anything on the outside. They'd be the bigger person, stand up, greet them, shake their hand, and so on and so forth. And so if you can't see yourself being somebody that could do that, chances are there's a little bit of work that needs to be done. I used to not be somebody that could do that at all, period, ever. But now I can, I've done it. But it takes work, and it takes that understanding of, where your mindset is at when it comes really to this stuff here. If you can't see yourself, or if you can see yourself doing it, but just know right now you can't, that means you can get to the spot where you definitely can. And so the main thing I think to understand is confident versus a non-confident person. What's the difference between a confident and a non-confident person? And a lot of people will say like, oh, a confident person's tall, or a confident person, looks a certain way, or a confident person has a lot of money. But really, it has nothing to do with outside circumstances whatsoever. Again, saying that things on the outside make you feel a certain way, all that stuff, that's not the case here. The only difference between a confident person and a non-confident person are thoughts. Thoughts. That's it. Somebody has confident thoughts and somebody has non-confident thoughts. That's the only difference. Anybody can ooze confidence. Anybody can be the most confident person that walked the face of the earth, and all they have to do is get in here correct. Now, the example that I always think of is if you watch any YouTube or business people on YouTube, business advice, there's a guy on there and his name is Dan Lok. And of course, Dan Lok's like a millionaire. He buys and sells businesses. He's got a YouTube channel with several million subscribers. He's doing very, very well. But Dan Lok is not very tall. Okay, Dan Lok is not the most attractive man in the world. Dan Lok doesn't speak English super well. He's from China originally and things like that. He doesn't have the best background in the world. But when you watch his videos and you hear him speak, he oozes confidence. Like, you just feel like, whoa, this guy's super confident. You forget the idea that he's not very tall. You forget the idea that you can't understand every single word he says. Sometimes it's hard to hear. You forget all that, and you just see how confident he is. If if he wasn't all dressed up and you just saw him walking down the street, you probably wouldn't think he was anything at all, right? There's no difference. It's almost like Bill Gates, same kind of thing with Bill Gates. He just kind of dresses normally. He doesn't have, super bling or anything like that. He's just like, yeah, I'm one of the richest men in the world. But you would never be able to tell, but he got a lot of confidence also. And so it really comes down to the thoughts that you think. Anything else really doesn't play a role at all. So I'm going to give you some kind of tips that I learned myself to gain a little more confidence in my life. That was a lot of the stuff that I needed to overcome retroactive jealousy. I was had a very big lack of confidence when it came to females, to dating, to general idea of love and sex and these things. Very uncomfortable for me, showing a very lack of confidence, and I was able to overcome a lot of that. Obviously, still working on it. I will never be the most confident person ever. I can tell myself I am and still work at it, but I think even the most confident people in the world still have to work at their confidence from time to time, and that's totally okay. So the first thing I would recommend, and this is what I recommend in all my videos pretty much, is being present. Present moment, meditation, breathing. Okay, getting in the present moment, getting in that present moment mindset will start to loosen and weaken these basically thought routes and things of these thoughts that, no, I'm not confident, no, I can't do that, no, this person's better than me, no, da-da-da-da-da. It'll start loosening those, so we're easily able to create better thoughts of confidence after we've loosened those things that we don't want to believe about ourselves anymore. And that really happens through confidence, through presence, getting our mind out of our head and into our body as much as physically possible, as much as mentally possible. So that just means feeling your feet on the ground right now. You're feeling your breath go through your lungs right now. Feeling, when you're drinking water, really feeling the water in your mouth and going down your throat. Things like that. Little things. Getting yourself into the present moment. It starts becoming more and more of a habit over time. I have an app. It's like Habit Tracker. I forget the exact name of it, but basically you can put in, I want to do this 7 days a week, and it will remind you every day, and you can actually click like, okay, I did it today, I did it today, I did it today. And a long time ago, I put in there present moment, and that just is a reminder that every single day I have to be in the present moment somehow. And if I find myself I'm not, I need to go back to feeling the physical sensations, feeling myself breathing, things like that. And since I started doing it, it just becomes easier and easier and easier. Like, it's just an automatic thing. You shift back to the present moment as much as possible. And that will help keep away these nasty RJ thoughts, and also help keep away these thoughts of, I'm not confident, I'll never be that type of person, and allows you to really recreate yourself when you start becoming present. Now, the next one that was very, very powerful for me, this might not work for everybody, but for me it was very powerful, is positive affirmations. And I remember this idea when I was really suffering hard from retroactive jealousy, and reading about, okay, this might have to do with a little bit of insecurity, lack of confidence. And I was like, well, how do I become more confident? And I read what I'm basically telling you. It says, you just think confident thoughts. If you think confident thoughts, you'll become confident. And again, I didn't know at the time where thoughts came from. I was uneducated about all this. So I thought, well, how do I think confident thoughts? I don't understand. And so I read this thing. It's like, no, affirmations. You deliberately say these things to yourself. I am confident. I have supreme self-esteem, supreme self-love. That's who I am. Over and over and over again, a belief is only a thought that you keep thinking. So the more you say it to yourself, the more you think about it, the you'll become it. And that was like a eye-opening experience for me, eye-opening. And so I did. I started telling myself in my head that I'm a powerhouse, that I'm a badass, that I'm all these different things. I started talking myself up more and more and more and more and more, over and over and over again. And I saw it really working. And at the time I worked at a hotel, and we'd have a lot of guests who were very angry all the time. And I used to be somebody that would like kind of cowered down and be like, okay, yeah, I'm sorry for what happened here. Let me give you whatever you want. Let me give you whatever you want. But I started telling myself these affirmations. And so when it came to like a guest problem, I stood my ground, and supported, whatever my manager was telling me to do. I never cowered down. It like was really working for me. It's like, wow, this is powerful. I told myself I'm a badass, and I feel like I am. And so that really helped me. I still use affirmations to this day. I still use affirmations for certain goals that I want, recite certain things, goals that I want to accomplish as if they're happening now. Dan Pena, who I've shared about, who's a business coach, he said he's the reason he is a millionaire worth like $500 million, whatever, is because of affirmations. He says he doesn't know if there's any universal laws, law of attraction. He doesn't necessarily know about that, but all he knows is he recited these certain affirmations in the mirror to himself all throughout his life, and he became those exact things. There's a lot of power in doing affirmations to find more confidence. And now the last one I'm going to share kind of puts everything together as far as the things that we've kind of talked about, how we can be more confident, maybe use affirmations, maybe be present, all these things. And that's called the alter ego effect. And there's a book on this. It's a very, very good book. Read it actually a couple times. Basically, the idea of the alter ego is exactly how it sounds. We are to think of a person. We are to create a person. For instance, I want to be the most confident person in the world. I don't want to have any social anxiety. I want to be able to stand up in front of 1 million people and give a speech with ease. I don't want to feel any negative emotion when that happens. There's a person out there that, exists, I'm sure. I want to be that person, and I want to be that person now. And so we step into that person and we become that person now. And anytime, and now maybe we're in a social situation, maybe we feel a little negativity, like, oh, you shouldn't be here. Oh, you're making a fool out of yourself. We stop ourselves and we say, no, I'm not the type of person that gets these thoughts. I'm doing just fine. We channel into that alter ego. And it could be like a certain, if you have a certain idol, you can become that person, or you can make up somebody altogether. And this isn't, again, like hoo-ha or anything like that. This is an actual thing. Basketball players have done this. And I forget, it's in the book, but there's a certain basketball player where they asked him, how do you feel throughout your whole career that you made, this many shots and broke the world record for the, whatever it is, or had the highest scoring, whatever in history. And he said, oh, that wasn't me. That was, and he named somebody else. And they're like, what do you mean? And he's like, the person who I am, I can't perform to that level, but I had to become somebody else every time I stepped onto the court. And that allowed me to score all those shots. A lot of you probably are familiar with Sasha Fear and Beyonce, right? Same thing with Beyonce. They asked, oh, how do you feel about selling, world record amount of albums and, selling out concerts? And Beyonce said, that wasn't me, that was Sasha Fear. She said, Beyonce isn't somebody that can do that kind of stuff. I'm a very shy person. I'm a very religious person, but I had to channel somebody else who could do that stuff, and her name was Sasha Fear. She named him. There's a ton of people that do this. It can be very, very powerful. And I do this a lot when it comes to like, a lot of the time I've been doing it with YouTube stuff here as my channel's growing. 99.9% of the people watching are very appreciative and ask great questions and are very supportive. And then there's a 0.1% of people that come on and are just nasty, saying derogatory things about women in the comments. Some people sign up for my stuff just to get my emails so they can write incredibly rude emails to me, say rude things about me. And so it really, when this first started happening, and it happens more and more and more now that I'm getting more subscribers and getting out there more, when this started happening, part of me was like, I shouldn't do YouTube anymore. Like, this is horrible. This is terrible. I thought this was only happening to me, right? And then I started watching other YouTubers that have the 300,000 subscribers, the 500,000 subscribers, the 1 million subscribers. And I started watching some things on them, and they're like, yeah, like when I wake up in the morning, like I do my meditation, I do this, I do that, you know, I'll film my videos, I'll edit my videos, and then at the very end of the day, I'll check my emails. And they're like, because literally I'll have 100 wonderful emails, and then I'll have 2 just super nasty emails. Like every day, somebody has to, you know, feel so bad about themselves, so terrible about themselves, they have to push out their negative feelings on someone else to make themselves feel better. It's very sad. But so I started realizing, like, oh, like this happens to everybody and it affects them too. Like I'm not the only one. And so I started reading about more people, and other people were saying like, no, your haters are your biggest fans, because they're the ones that are commenting on your video, even if it's negative. They're the ones that are probably disliking your video, and YouTube doesn't discriminate between a like and a dislike. They just see it as an interaction, so it grows your channel. And so one person's like, no, like I love when I get a hater or somebody like that, and because they're making me bigger, they're helping me grow. And so I have to channel that sometimes when I get some really negative response or something like that. I channel that idea of this alter ego that doesn't care about these super negative things that people are saying, and it just, you know, bounces off them, no harm, no foul, and can see the positivity in it. So I channel that. I do that a couple times a week. I'll get something nasty sent to me or a comment, and I do that, and it works really, really, really well to feel that confidence and put that out there, and have, you know, stuff on the outside just kind of bounce off me and not affect me whatsoever. So this can be very, very powerful. Very powerful. And you can do this in general with retroactive jealousy. Say, I want to be somebody that doesn't suffer from RJ. I'm going to create the greatest person in the world. And we talk about this a little bit in the courses. The greatest possible person I can be. You know, what's this alter ego that doesn't suffer from retroactive jealousy? What thoughts do they have? What actions do they take? What do they do? And start channeling them now. This is going to be a very, very powerful exercise for you to do. So, again, breathing, become present, practice meditation. Those things will kind of get you out of your head, detach you from any negative beliefs or non-confident things you think about yourself. Doing affirmations, extremely, extremely powerful as well. A belief is just a thought that you keep thinking. So start thinking thoughts of confidence and they will become you. Tie it all together with an alter ego. Alter ego. Think up the most confident person, the most ideal person you wish to be, and then become them. Start thinking the way they think, acting the way they act, and you will soon become that without even having to think about it. It will be automatic nature for you. So I'll leave it at that today. I appreciate you joining me. If you enjoyed this video, please smash the like button so we can get it out to more people that need to see it. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so for more content like this. Hit the notification bell so you are alerted every time I post a new video. Please check the links also in the description below. If you want some help overcoming retroactive jealousy, I have 2 amazing courses down there. Again, receiving some really, really great feedback from them. I think it's really going to help you out if you're interested in joining the courses, in enrolling. They're both super sweet, straight and to the point, no extra mumbo jumbo. They'll tell you exactly what you need to know. The links are in the description below. Those courses are on sale now. That's it for me today. We'll see you in the next video.